Thank you for whoever noticed.
Okay. Another thing we can do is two fingers together. This you really have to be careful of. It's a laser. It's like a laser. So you never direct a finger to the eye or inside the ear. If you're having a problem with something that you really need to target, this is a good way to do it. But again, be very careful, not in the eye or toward the ear. Okay. So the most basic, straightforward way of sending energy is direct healing. Palms flat, fingers together, and you place them slightly above or on the area that you're looking to send healing energy to. Okay. You can do it with one hand. So if I was doing on my arm, it's very easy. It's very direct. Again, you can send energy to anything.
Right. Right.
And you can diffuse energy, build energy, really focus energy, and send energy. You can send it, a lot of people send it to their computer when they're looking at the healing list. And they send energy, healing energy directly to everything and everyone on the list. Okay. So let's go over the steps real quick. When we're doing healing energy, we're going to talk about parallel energy next. And that's going to lead right into our technique. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is plug into the universal energy, cleanse your hands, and then build your energy. Let's take a minute or two. And let me know how this is going. Is anybody are you feeling anything or
Yes.
what are
Yes,
you
I am.
feeling?
It's like a sponge, a spongy feeling.
Okay. Kind of gives you a hint that this is you're revved up. It's like you're on switch. Okay, good. So after we build the energy, we put our hands in the healing position. For parallel healing, instead of direct, parallel healing is one hand on either side of the area you're sending healing energy to. So if you're doing on an arm or a leg, chest, whatever, it's one hand on the front and one hand on the back. What you're doing is you're setting up a vortex. The right hand is pushing the energy in, and the left hand is almost pulling the energy out. So you're really making up a vortex in the energy field. Okay. So that's hands in healing position. You build the energy, you place your hands in the healing position, follow the instructions, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, just timing, making sure that you're holding your hands in the different areas for the right amount of time to do the most good. Then you break the energy. Remember how we do that? You can snap your fingers or just brush it away or clap or however it makes sense to you. And then we'll move to another area. When you move to another area, you start the whole process over again. You build the energy. You go to a healing position. It's here. When you're done with that, you break the energy, build it, move on to another position, and so forth. It almost becomes like a dance. It almost becomes like an ebb and a flow within you and within the participant. It can be really a nice thing. And whenever you're giving energy, it's coming through you, not from you. So it shouldn't be depleting you. You can give it freely. In fact, when I do any kind of healing, I usually feel better afterwards myself. So I think that, it's a built-in way to also get some energy for yourself. So parallel healing is a penetrating power that creates a vortex of energy, like I just mentioned. It's usually used in combination with other healing techniques and often used in conjunction with contact points, which is a little more, a little trickier, a little more study involved. We won't be going through those in this 6-week session, but that's something else that's there that you probably want to be aware of. Okay, so when we're administer healing energy, again, let's try this together. Build the energy, palms and fingers together, or however you do it. Place one hand on either side of the body where the healing is needed. You're sending energy from both hands, from both sides of the body. That allows the energy to penetrate, and it penetrates the area more deeply than just one hand on or direct healing. You have it on both areas. It's really directing more energy. You can keep your fingers together when you do it, or you can spread them out and diffuse them. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So we're going over all of that. And today, what we're going to learn with the parallel energy that we just went over is something called Decongestant Plus. So I think it'll be real helpful for cold and flu season and allergies too. It's really good for that. Have Kleenex ready if you're going to do this. It really works. We're not going to hold it probably for as long as it is, to get the most benefit from it. But these things they work. So be prepared. Does anybody have any questions about building the energy, direct energy, or parallel before we get started?
If you're working on someone, do you just use your intuition to know how long to keep your hands there on, let's say, on their knee or something? How would you know? Is there any guidelines for that?
Yeah, in the healing guide, I know I've put in whenever Julian said to hold it for a certain amount of time that we do that. And we're going to do that today with the decongestant. I'm going to tell you, to hold it for about a minute on each side. And a lot of times there isn't a time limit. As you get more used to healing, you kind of feel differences in your hands. Like they might start out tingly, or they might start out with not much of a feeling, and then they get real tingly, and then it subsides. That's kind of how it happens for me. So everybody's a little bit different in the way they give and receive energy. You just have to work with it. Give it enough time. You don't want to go that done. off. At least a minute, probably, to hold the different things. But that's just me. That's not what Julian said. Is that
Thank
okay? You really need to be in touch with yourself and be in touch with the healing part of you. We all have it. It's all very attainable and just there for all of us, which is kind of crazy to think about, All right. Any other questions? All right. So what we're going to do is called Decongestant Plus, and I'm going to get this up in my book here just to make sure that we're right. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is build the energy in your hands, of course. All right. And then you're going to hold your fingers together on either side of your head, with the palm of your hand in line with the bridge of your nose. Okay? That's where the sinuses are, behind this area. And you hold that for at least 1 minute. Okay, we're not going to do that right now. Holding it for a minute. But what you do is you break the energy then. And then we're going to move on to the second part. All right. So the second part of this is you hold one hand on top of the head at the crown of the head, and the other hand under the chin. All right. Hands out flat, and you hold it for 1 minute. Okay, then break the energy, build the energy, and you hold one hand over your brow with the palm of your hand over the bridge of your nose. So I'm going to disappear. And the other hand at the back of your head. And you hold the position for at least 1 minute. Okay, let's go through that again. Break the energy, build the energy. Bless you.
Okay.
So hands on the side of the head in line with the bridge of the nose. Okay. Break the energy, build the energy. Hand at the crown of your head and under your chin. Good. Break the energy, build the energy. And then we have one hand over the bridge of the nose, other at the back of the head. Okay, palm of the hand over the bridge of the nose. Okay, good. Break the
Cindi,
energy.
question for you.
Yeah.
There was obviously 3 positions there. The question is, does it make any difference which order you do them in?
No, it doesn't. It certainly does not. There is another little trick there, though. For congestion associated with allergies, we're going to do the same technique, except we're going to open the fingers and float the energy in by circling your hand slowly. And why we do this is that with allergies, the mucous membrane could be irritated, and doing the technique with the fingers closed could be a little too powerful. Okay, so let's try this again real quick, and we're just going to go ahead and use the floating allergy technique. That's what we're going to call it. All right, so break your energy, build your energy. What's the first position? Anybody remember the first position? Sides of the head. Good. Okay. Side of the head, palms in line with the bridge of the nose. Spread your fingers and kind of circle slowly, floating the energy in. Good deal. Okay, then break the energy, build the energy. Keep those fingers spread open. Okay, oh, top and bottom, good, you guys got it. Build that energy. This is like patting your tummy and rubbing your head at the same time. Good luck. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Okay. And then break the energy. Build the energy. Same thing, fingers open. And float that energy in. I know we didn't hold it, but I am feeling a little snippy. Okay, break the energy. Good job, everybody. You guys are naturals. Do you have any questions? No? Okay.
Cindi, I do.
Uh-huh.
Is that very similar to what you would do like for headaches? I mean, it seems like it's all centered around the head and the nose and stuff. So, you know, a lot of times people will have headaches, and I'm kind of wondering as far as, is that similar process that you'd use for a headache?
That's a really good question. Of course, with allergies and sinuses and things, you can have a headache, and that'll help clear it up.
Mm.
There's also another really very effective method for headaches, migraines, different things like that, that has to do with contact points. And that's a little bit different.
Cindi, would it be a good thing for someone who has got brain fog or worried about memory issues?
This kind of technique?
Yeah.
You know, I've not seen anything that it would be used with that for that kind of thing, but nothing here hurts. So, I mean, I'd still have tissues ready, but because that's basically what this is for. But you know what? If that's something that you think would be calming or soothing for somebody, and you're putting the love and the intention to help with that, I don't think it can hurt.
Great.
That's interesting. I've always been very interested in helping people who older people, and I always worked in long-term care and different things like that, dementia care. So I just think, you know, people who suffer with dementia, really their feelings and their everything is so right there at the surface. You know, it's amazing, and it's just wonderful to be around them. It's a difficult part of life, but it can also be such a wonderful learning experience for those of us that don't have it.
Cindy,
Yeah.
does it make any difference which hand you use on the top of your head and under your chin, or the back of your head and your forehead?
I don't know that it really matters for that. I mean, for some of the things, like if we're doing, well, no, I take that back. What Julian said is that the right hand is kind of pushing the energy in, and the left hand is pulling the energy out. So I do think it matters. You'd have your right hand on top and your left hand underneath. I will check on that and make sure if it does make any difference for that. I think if you're trying to work with an infection or something, it would probably matter a lot more because your hands are doing different things. But I think for something like this, where you're just floating energy in or putting energy in, it wouldn't matter too
Well,
much.
I'm at a meeting. I'll call you back.
Good questions, guys. What else we got?
Cindy, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm left-handed, so is it then in reverse? Like I remove it with my right and left, I turn it around or not?
No, it's still the way we're set up, to where the right side is pushing and the left side is pulling. But I will check and make sure, just to make sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's going in the parking lot here?
Cindy,
Yes.
is there should you try and clear any of your energy that would not be helpful when you're doing the healing prior to building the healing?
That's a good question. We talked about that a little bit last time. And the general rule is, if you're angry or jealous or feeling negative emotions, you shouldn't try to do healing at that time. If you're ill, it won't transfer. It's fine. But if you're feeling badly about something or having negative emotions, you should, you know, clear that for yourself. Wait, don't try to do that. It's not going to hurt anyone, but it's going to muddy up the healing energy. You're not going to get a benefit.
Particularly if you're feeling sorry for someone or fearful for what's going on with them, I would think that you have to clear that and be very more of a positive thing before you try and heal them.
I think having a positive state of mind is important. Yes. I think if you're a little fearful of what's going on, sometimes asking for courage, you know, going through with whatever you need to do,
Well, I'm
as long
thinking
as
of
you're
it,
not angry or.
yeah, I'm thinking of it more in a sympathetic way. If you're really feeling their pain, that's not going to help.
That won't hurt. If you're being empathetic, it won't hurt.
Okay.
It's the negative emotions of your own, anger, jealousy, things like that. wanting to steal money from orphans and widows, not gonna.
Wanting the rain to stop, yes.
That's okay, unless you're building an ark.
All right, good.
Okay, anything else before we go on to our final affirmation? Oh, and I just want to tell you that I will be here on Easter Sunday. That's a couple of weeks, I think. It could be next week. I don't know, because everything's going so fast right now. But I will be here on Easter Sunday. It'll probably be a little bit shorter. But I'll be here, and if you're not going to be and you miss it, you can always catch a recording. So, and I thank you all for being here and your questions and everything else. I really had a good time. Okay, so the affirmation. Father and mother of all creation, help my preconceived ideas to dissolve, that I may accept the good in all things and have a perfect day. So be it. So be it. I hope you all have a perfect day.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindi.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll be here next week, same time, same station. If you have any questions, please let me know. Remember to do your exercises with your hands. Start getting them all kind of ready to go on your healing journey. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Have a
Thank you.
great day. Great week.
Thanks.
Thank you.